Welcome back, focused learners, to another explainer. Look, today we are going to completely flip the script on how you think about accumulating wealth. If you've ever felt like achieving financial freedom is just this endless, exhausting, uphill battle, well, you're definitely in the right place. Get ready for a massive mindset shift because we're going to change your entire trajectory.
Think about it for a second. What if the secret to wealth isn't actually working harder? For literal generations, we've been fed this deeply ingrained belief that making money requires grueling, endless sweat and ultimate sacrifice. We're told, hey, if you aren't completely exhausted, you aren't really earning it. But the source material we're diving into today, it completely shatters that idea.
It really boils down to this exact contrast. On one side, you've got the exhausting, old-school way of thinking, sweat, sacrifice, and struggle. And on the other side, the new approach we're exploring today, which is all about combining practical wealth habits with a truly powerful mindset. True financial freedom doesn't come from burning yourself out to a crisp. It comes from balance. You absolutely need expert strategies for your money, but you also need the precise psychology to back it up.
So, let's look at our roadmap for today. 1. The myth of hard work. 2. Your financial armor. 3. The mindset shift. 4. Activating subconscious wealth. And finally, number 5, the true meaning of success. All right, let's jump right into section 1, the myth of hard work, breaking the cycle of endless struggle.
Our source material hits you with this right out of the gate, and it's a stark warning. Trying to accumulate riches through hard labor alone is the path to being the richest man in the cemetery. Wow, right? It totally shatters the illusion that just breaking your back equals riches. You absolutely do not need to work like a slave to be wealthy. Actually, your true source of wealth is your ideas. Think about it. You could literally have $1 million idea right now if you just quieted your mind enough to hear it. It's all about utilizing expert strategies, not just endless physical labor.
Which brings us to section 2, your financial armor, the 8 practical rules.
So brilliant ideas are great, but they need a super stable foundation to thrive. That brings us to 80%. This represents rule number 3 from our text, and it's a real game changer. You've got to learn to live on 80% of what you earn. Now, before you panic, this isn't about deprivation. That remaining 20%, that's your freedom. Pay yourself first, build up that safety net, and essentially buy your own financial tranquility.
Let's rapidly punch through the rest of these expert strategies to build your wealth habits. Rule 1, invest in your potential. Never, ever stop upgrading your skills so you make yourself totally indispensable. Rule 2, start a cash reserve. Rules 4 and 5, buy only in cash and set aside fixed income. Rules 6 and 7 are all about avoiding the debt trap. No new debts and only buy what you can actually pay for right now. And Rule 8 is a massive pro tip. Once you start investing, learn not to sell. That way you avoid losing your hard-earned money to spreads, taxes, and intermediaries.
These 8 practical rules form your financial armor. By locking in these wealth habits, you are building a remarkably solid foundation. But, and this is a crucial reality check, money habits alone just aren't enough.
And that leads us perfectly into section 3, the mindset shift, moving into deeper territory.
We are diving into some deeper territory here, because let's be honest, a perfectly executed budget is completely useless if your mindset is stuck in scarcity or fear. That is exactly where most people fail. Not from a lack of money, but from a lack of the right thoughts about money. The key concept here is subjective faith. Basically, when you combine a clear thought with a strong emotion, it literally becomes a belief. The framework argues that the actual feeling of wealth is what produces wealth. It's not denial, it's alignment. By intentionally syncing up clear thoughts of success with strong positive emotions, you create this subjective faith that drives real, tangible results.
Building on that, the text lays out some incredibly powerful principles of the wealth mindset. One expert strategy that really jumps out is the mandate to specialize and know more than anyone else in your field. Success doesn't just hand itself to the average, it comes to the expert. The core argument here pushes us to commit fully, to become that go-to person everyone naturally seeks out for answers.
But there's also a deeply moral, expansive side to this mindset shift. Get this. A successful man is not selfish. His main desire is to serve humanity. That is such a profound insight. True wealth isn't about greedily hoarding every single penny you can grasp. It's about contribution. When you shift your focus to how you can genuinely serve others with your expert skills, success just naturally follows.
Moving right along to section 4, activating subconscious wealth, the power of imagination.
So, how do we practically lock this mindset in? Well, the text introduces this fascinating concept that your imagination is an incredible tool.
It's not just for daydreaming, folks. By giving your subconscious very specific tasks, especially right before you drift off to sleep, you can yield almost miraculous creative solutions. Here are the exact steps provided for successful manifestation. First, meditate on the problem. Second, turn toward the solution, deeply recognizing that the answer is already known to your subconscious. And third, enter a state of deep conviction that your goal is already accomplished. A huge warning here, though: mental coercion and excessive effort will actually block the answer because they signal anxiety and fear. You have to approach the whole thing with absolute tranquility.
It's also absolutely essential to think independently of traditional methods. As the text points out, the old ways aren't always the best ways. Innovation truly comes from those who dare to think differently. Whether you're trying to solve a complex business problem or figure out a personal finance issue, approaching it with a relaxed, independent, and tranquil mind is what allows your subconscious to immediately get to work on a flawless execution.
And beautifully intertwined with all that tranquility is gratitude. A grateful heart is always close to the riches of the universe. I love that. Gratitude isn't just some polite feeling. It is literally the frequency of abundance. When you are genuinely thankful for what you already have, you're signaling to your subconscious and the world that you are ready to attract even more.
Finally, Section 5, the true meaning of success, redefining wealth.
All right, we've covered the practical wealth habits, and we've explored the deep psychological shifts. But bringing both of these pillars together reveals one core truth. There is no true success without peace of mind. I mean, what good is a massive bank account if you are constantly anxious, stressed out, or just miserable? True success requires deep psychological and spiritual knowledge, not just a perfectly balanced ledger. Ultimately, success means a successful life. When you are at peace, when you're happy, and when you are doing what you genuinely love, you have already arrived. When you combine those 8 practical rules of your financial armor with a deep, unshakable abundance mindset, you achieve that true peace. You absolutely don't have to wait for some magical number to hit your bank account. Through alignment, you're already there.
So I'm going to leave you with this powerful question to chew on. Are you ready to stop working like a slave and start thinking like an expert? It's entirely up to you to take these practical wealth habits and make that profound mindset shift in your own life starting today. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this sparked your curiosity and gave you a clear, structured path forward. Until next time, stay focused, keep learning, and start cultivating your true wealth.